ADHD, 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 it's alive. ADHD, 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 it's alive.
On a serious note, I'm not sure what's going on up there, but they've been thumping around for a lot. Now I'm hearing crying. Sounds like a little kid, you know. This is probably how my neighbors felt when I was, being bad all the time, getting in trouble, getting spanked and stuff. A good old whack to the head or pop on the bottom. Hilarious. Anyways, what's up, people? It's a new week. It's a new day. It's Friday. Yes, I said it. It's Friday. Friday, high day. I want to get down on payday. Was supposed to go out with friends, but they had other plans and they canceled on me. Yay. Damn, I'm lonely. Nah, it's all good. I just don't even... Honestly, I can't really get upset over that because he didn't even text me happy birthday, and here we are changing up plans. So I guess I gotta wash my hands of this situation. Gotta let it go. Doom doom doo 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 doo. Another friendship TKO. Do 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 do. I'm silly, yo. I'm silly. I'm real silly. I have been feeling some type of way this week, though. Until I saw that paycheck, then I got this, sense of, yes, hard work does pay off. But my business, I'm so sorry. Alright, I'm just going to jump. I'm going to jump topics. In 3, 2, 1. Don't get intimidated by my hard work. Trust me, if you put in the work, anything is possible. Anything is possible. I had to say that twice so that you hear me. Possible. Disappear and stay in your lane. Pre-warning, people that you thought were in your corner may switch up. And I can name a few artists right now. People I've interviewed, people I've taken photos with, shaken hands, broken bread with, people I love, all excluded me when I wanted nothing but the best for them. I look up to these people like they were gods, right? But that's only because I thought I couldn't get to there musically. And they would treat me as such, oh no, you're the podcast guy. But after doing this for so long, I've been putting in the work, I've been doing the writing, and then I think back to 5th grade when I wrote my first song, and I'm like, dude, you've been doing this for so long, it's crazy. Why didn't you? I just didn't know how to put it together. I didn't have somebody to teach me this stuff. I had to go to YouTube. I had to rely on my cousin, for example. I had to rely on him heavily, teach me things. More YouTube and stuff I've heard through the grapevine, and that's how I've gotten to where I am now, really just doing the research. But hey, man, I'm just grateful I was able to connect the dots. Thank you, God, for making that even possible. And I just want to say to everybody out there, I'm more than just the podcast guy, interviewing artists and working for internet radio stations people never heard of. But I've been asking about open mics for over a year now. I've been writing, like I said, my entire life. I must be good at it for all these people to exclude me from that environment. That's the type of places where that's the type of environment that I thrive in. And I be booking gigs, I play for bands, I write music, I write poetry, I draw. I mean, I'm a jack of all trades. I have a podcast I do every week. I travel for my craft. I play at church on the weekends. I had my own radio show for over a year. I've been putting in the work. I'm working a full-time job to make this possible. This music life is all I got, see? It was never about the money. It was more so about getting a business started, which requires starter money such as investments and assets and equipment and time. I gave more than what I was receiving back. And you think people would, just give me a little handout or throw me a bone in return, but I'm learning that it doesn't always work that way. Because people are people and you can't convince them to do what you want them to do unless you want to be a manipulative kind of person, but I don't want to do that, so. With that being said, new me feels like I should just let them do them, use their negative energy as motivation for me to do better. Old me wants to get childish, but as a business owner, I can't resort to such things. I've come to the conclusion, though, that I'll just see them in passing. No more handouts, no more hard feels. I know where we stand, and thank you for being a part of my journey. Like, I will no longer allow their vibes to affect my energy or my focus or concentrate. That's the same thing. Focus, concentration. Whoops. I will no longer allow them to interrupt what I got going on. And that's just that. I believe hard work stands out. And a room full of talent. I believe hard work stands out in a room full of talent. I had to learn that one the hard way, though, because I thought I could just get by off of talent. That's what I was relying on. Like, when I first got into music, that's exactly what I was relying on, just off of talent, just off of talent. Oh, well, I can do that. I can definitely, I can do this. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to write this little song here, and it's going to pop. I'm going to write this little verse. I'm going to put it on Instagram and watch it blow up, and it didn't do jack squat. If anything,
I can't hear your lyrics. What are you talking about? Why are you so depressed? You have everything you wanted, right? Why are you so distraught?
like, bro, why are y'all criticizing? You know what? That's exactly how I felt. That's exactly how I felt. I'm not even going to front. That's exactly how I felt. I just hit the mic stand with my knee. Oof. My hand has been hurting a lot. Like, I still have to pop my knuckle every morning. But yeah, it hurts like really bad. And so is my wrist. My other hand has been doing great, by the way. I don't know what happened, but the left hand's been doing great. I know last time we talked, my other hand was like no bueno, and now here we are. Like after a week of not really messing with it, it feels pretty good. I just know when I bend my fingers on my right hand, specifically the middle one, it hurts like Have you ever dropped something and it landed on your fingers, like on your hand? Yeah, on your finger part. Like that's the kind of there we go. Just had to pop it again. I don't think I broke anything. I don't think about. I have noticed myself dropping boxes on this hand a lot. I'm picking up boxes with this hand a lot. Maybe it's the way I'm picking them up. Maybe I'm flexing my hand muscles when I'm gripping versus just picking the box up. I'm doing something wrong, and I gotta figure out what it is. Otherwise, I need this hand to play my saxophone and do other things such as like drawing and using the mouse and texting. And I'd hate to lose this hand is what I'm getting at. But this thing it still bothers me every day. I mean, it's not like one of those, but it can be. I've been training my brain to like ignore how bad it hurts and just to push through, because that's how I was raised. You know what I'm saying? Alright, I'll stop acting goofy. Random thought. I believe work standards have to improve in order for people to return to work and stop quitting their jobs. That's a big one. Ooh. Another random thought. An oven and tap waitress makes $4K and gets fired for not sharing the money. That was crazy. When I read the article for that, it was just like, are you serious? Because she didn't share her money with you guys. Like, y'all didn't help out with anything. And the people were like, give her money back, blah, blah, blah. So they finally gave her the money back. But you know how restaurants are. They want you to do like a tip share. Because that's how it was when I was in the restaurant industry, making like $4 an hour plus the tip share. And that tip share is like pretty much all you get, you know, as far as money wise. You don't really make much per hour. So you can work. What is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? What the fuck was it? I can't make it. I would make anywhere between 20 and $40 a night, which isn't bad for a 17-year-old. 16, for a 17-year-old. Yeah, 17-year-old. I want to say I was 16 because that was like one of the first jobs I had, the very first job that I had. But yeah, the kicker was if the girls get more money in cash tips, then they're not gonna. All right, there's a way to cheat the system, and they would cheat the system. I'll just say that. I'm not gonna say who did it and what their hair color was, what kind of nails they had on that day, or any like jazz. But for her to have to share her tips, I understand. It sucks. It sucks you got to share your tips, but I think we should definitely get rid of that, and maybe hosts and waitresses, waitresses, wrong English, should get paid more. And that goes back to like the work standards having to improve in order for people to return to work. Because you got people that are willing to quit their job, their full-time job that provides benefits and everything. They'd rather go without, be their own boss, quote unquote, working for like one of these delivery services, for example, and make just as much. Or maybe not as much, but not have as much like stress on them. They can listen to music, they can smoke in their car, they can choose when they want to work and stuff like that. And I think it's like people are starting to realize like, hey, I don't want to feel like a caged animal anymore. I'm sick of this shit. Like for a year we had to, some of us had to sit in our house and have shit delivered to us, right? And now you want me to go back to work so you can boss me around and tell me when to eat, sleep, shit again? Fuck you. No, this is my life. I'm going to live it the way I want. And I understand that, but I was one of the ones that had to work. I was lied to and told that I was essential. I was not essential. I was expendable, if anything. That was a hard pill to swallow. Like, I experienced a range of emotions throughout this pandemic. And it's like, dang, so we don't get a hero fund, but we're essential. Everybody else gets to go home, but we got to go to work. I thought this was I thought this was the end of the world. Well, we should be running for our lives. We should be social distancing. There was not a cleaning crew there 24/7, ready to clean up after every person that coughs or in between shifts. Yeah, one or two people wiping down stuff every 4 or 5 hours when like 20 people have touched the same item. What? Come on now, like we could have done better, and I understand. Like that, the last place I was at, the work standards there, or horseradish. You are can't say that word because that makes people feel bad. I'm gonna say it anyway. Slave. You're a slave. Working for minimum wage, and the pay rates are not fair, and it's run by ego maniacs. This is turning into a very personal podcast. I didn't mean for it to get personal, but maybe that's what the podcast is about, me being personal every week. What's going on in my life. That's what I tell people anyway. I just need to take a moment and clear my head because my head's foggy from working all these hours. That's the only downside about, working as much as I'm working, is I don't have the energy to do what I used to do, and trying to get up and get out on a Friday or on my days off is like close to impossible. So I understand why my friend doesn't even, well, my so-called friends don't want to get up anymore. Well, I can't even really say that, so-called. We're all just on different pattern, like, we're all living different lives. Some of us have kids, some of us don't. Me, I don't have any kids. But most of my friends have kids, but the ones who don't, I get it. I understand. You know, you're going to make all the money you can make while you can, because you never know when overtime's going to just again. Because that's what happened. I was working extra hard, right? Extra hard. And at the other place that I was at, and they didn't recognize me for any of my accomplishments. It was always, well, you didn't do this right. You suck. I mean, you're just unteachable, Malachi. I just don't understand. And then I get to this place, I'm busting my ass. Well, not really even busting my ass. I'm going at like, I'm gonna say 75%, but I do pay attention to what I'm doing, and I do a very good job at it. And they let me know this every day, that it's nothing but good things coming from them, and they're always encouraging me, motivating me, and lifting me up. And I haven't had that. I don't think I've ever had that, ever, while working. Dang, that's a sad reality. I had this whole spill about everything else that I was going to talk about, but right now I just want to talk about how blessed I am to have this job, and how the higher ups are like, they even know about me, and I'm like, how do you know about me? I'm just a nobody. But I mean, I guess if you work hard and you go above and beyond, word travels. It doesn't take much, you know. I did have a flare up though, because I was trying to help the cooler guys get their stuff together, you know, help them finish up so they can get out of there faster. And one guy was like, I don't know why they sent y'all in here. Y'all slowing us down. I'm like, dude, we finished like an hour ago. Just because you are moving slow today doesn't mean I want to be here all night. I mean, I close this beat down every night, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to say a lot more, but I just held my tongue. Then there was another guy that was like riding my jack. Like, he was like maybe an inch or two away from me, and he's like looking me in the eyes all menacing and stuff. And then I heard him say something under his breath to one of his homeboys, and that really set me off. Because, like, if you ain't got the balls to say it in front of my face, then why say it at all? Like, we can handle this like gentlemen. Why you gotta act like a kid about it? So, I was, at that point, I was a little upset. And then I went to go help somebody else. As you can see, I have a problem with helping people, because I like to help people, and it makes me feel good to help others and get the stuff done, because I don't want to be at that place all day. Or that's just for that situation particularly, but I just don't like to. Don't get upset. I understand, Zion. I understand. What are you yapping about? I don't really know right now, but I felt some type of way. Because here I am giving people a lending hand, and they're smacking my hand out of the way and telling me bad, Malachi. That's what the other employees are doing. So obviously I'm doing something right. I must be doing something right, because like management, everybody up above them is like, dude, you're doing an awesome job. We got our eyes on you. We're gonna do this for you. We're looking at doing this and this, and I'm like, hey yo, this is lit. Because I've never had this before, and like, I'm just ready to receive it all. Whatever God has in store, I'm ready to receive it all. And these guys, the other employees, they're just like all jealous and stuff. And I'm like, see, hard work does pay off. Everybody, like, you need to go on incentive. And I'm like, why? Why do I need to go on incentive? I don't need that. What? So I can go on incentive and leave early like everybody else does, and then let these guys sit in here all night? You think they want to be here till like 7 in the morning, 5 in the morning? No, they don't. They want to go home. They have lives too. I mean, and I get that. I understand. As a business owner, we have lives too, you know? Like, we don't want to be stuck during our counting inventory at like at like 12 in the afternoon, and you got to be back at work at 4. And I don't count inventory per se. I just, that was an example of what could have happened if I was to, build this business into something bigger. But, or like, for example, if I was to open up a store, and you got to count the inventory at the beginning shift and after shift. But, yeah, man, I like to stay over and I help out. And that's how I make my bread. That's exactly how I make my bread. Because, they got overtime. Why not take advantage of that? You know what I'm saying? I get it. You're already making such and such. So you make what you need and then you get to go. Where I'm like, well, how do I make this work for me? Because there's not enough tickets for me to. I'm not going. Well, there really isn't a lot of tickets. With the group of people that I'm picking with now versus then, like my chances of getting a higher percentage once they do put me on incentive is like much higher versus the other one, because I don't have to deal with bags of flour and those things are heavy, and I'm not sure why, but it slows me down. I'd rather just be throwing it on there, just throw it, and I'm like, what the fuck? And sometimes I get stuck with the crappiest tickets, and it's like, how am I supposed to even stack this, bro? Let's just say my luck is a lot better with what I'm doing now versus what I was doing then, alright? Let's just leave it at that, and God is good, yeah, God is good. Here I was about to take off to Virginia and get a trailer or something. I'm still thinking about doing that because this place is still ridiculously expensive. Ridiculously expensive. I don't understand, but they finally fixed the gutter on the front of our building, right? And you know what these dummies forgot to do? They forgot to put one of those little drain pipes on it, because now when it rains, it's gonna go straight in front of our door. And what if it freezes? Let's say we were to be walking and something were to happen. Whoops! I just fell. I'm suing the apartment complex. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that's gonna like happen, but you gotta be smart when it comes to these things, and like that's one of the reasons why. Well, that's one of the many reasons why I want to go back to Virginia, because at least if I buy a trailer, I get the trailer, I pay the lot fee, I split it with my brother, and we work wherever we decide to work at, and make pretty much the same thing that I'm making here, and I'd be living pretty good in Virginia, you know what I'm saying? I'd be living pretty good, yeah. I don't know why I've been wanting to do funny voices all week, man. That's all I've been doing, just funny voices. I've been listening to too much Eminem. Too much Eminem. Way too much. For real though, like, I'm done, like, feeling like, that, I don't even know how I want to word that. It feels as though people are not paying attention to my progress, but I look back and I see how far I've come, and it reminds me, it's not for them, it's not for other people, it's for me, it's my progress. The hard work and the dedication to my crafts, even when nobody's really paying attention, is astronomical. Like, I'm really just trying to do what makes me happy at this point in my life. Forget all the background noise, really. Forget the fancy car, forget the house, forget the clothes, shoes, cameras, magazines, radio, and the neighbors, the Joneses. Like, I just want to be able to prove to myself that hard work and consistency pays off, It really does. Hard work and consistency pays off. And it's finally starting to pay off at this job right here that I'm at. At first, it was like, man, there's no end to this. But at the same time, they were encouraging me. They're clapping me on. They're, trying to get me to where I need to be. And here I am, like, God's opening doors and opportunities for me that they haven't even gotten to yet. And it's like, dude, you're doing so well with this. We want to give you, what you deserve. We're going to do this for you. And it's like, heck yeah, I'm excited for it, and I'm grateful for the opportunities, man. Like, just talking about that gets me excited because I used to, like, at one point in my life, I stopped working hard, and that was at the other spot because it was just like, you know what, this is a dead end. This is a dead end. This is the end of the line right here. This is the end of the road. I'm no longer gonna work hard if I'm not gonna be rewarded for it. And that's not the mindset that you want to have going into a job. But I think, 1 second, and we're back. Did that record? Okay, and we're back. Hopefully I didn't do it twice. If it did, my bad. Had to finish up, wrapping up the podcast. Girlfriend came home with the food. Yum yum in my tummy. We're eating Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm pretty sure I was going to have to ramble off onto something important, but don't do drugs. Stay in school. Mind your manners and your parents. Yeah. Whoop-de-doodly-doo. That's the podcast for today. Peace.
ADHD, 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 it's alive. ADHD, ADHD, ADHD,